right, welcome back to the channel. And on today's episode, I've got something that if you have got a bit of a sweet tooth, you like that stuff, it tastes good, well, these two might just put a smile on your face. I've got Timothy and Kirsten from Cookie Cabin. Welcome, guys.
Pleased to meet you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, so I mean, we saw each other at the gym.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I've seen some of those videos, and I said, I just have to have you guys on the show.
Great stuff.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves and why Cookie Cabin.
Well, thank you for having us. My name is Timothy Joseph. I'm 26 years old. I've been living in George for 9 years, and I'm originally from Kimberley. I stayed there 17 years before coming over to George.
Okay.
And I matriculated in Glenwood High School in 2019, and I've always had a love for baking, love for cooking. And for various occasions when I was younger, I always used to get excited when people used to come over, and I would maybe bake a cake, cheesecake, cookies, whatever it be. So cooking and experimenting with different flavors has always been something that I've absolutely loved.
And my name is Kirsten Joseph, and I'm 25 years old, and I've lived in George my whole life. And I'm matriculated also in 2019, but from York High School. And we actually got married 2 days before our 4-year dating anniversary.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So just in time. And we also have a baby girl that's 4 months old at the moment.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also with myself, I've always loved baking. When I was a little girl, I actually wanted to become a pastry chef. And a lot of times I wanted to be maybe a pastry chef or maybe do something else. But I'm just so grateful that I actually became a pastry chef in a way that actually fulfilled my dream. And also when people would come over or we'd go somewhere, I'd also wanted to make cakes or cupcakes or cookies when we ever have guests over, and always wanted to add a more gourmet element to it. So instead of just having a normal cake, I always wanted to add caramel with the icing or adding bar one to it or just anything gourmet, and it ties in with our gourmet cookies.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, a little bit more about Cookie Cabin and the backstory. So we started this when we started dating. We actually started baking cookies for each other, just in a nutshell, and we absolutely loved it so much that we decided, okay, we're going to start this at a farmer's market. So at the farmer's market, we started taste testing, and it went very well. We started picking up quite well. The amount of returning customers we got really gave us confidence that what we're doing isn't just a one-hit wonder. It actually is something that people return for. So it is a business at the end of the day. And then I would say a few months down the line, we then opened a second stall at the Sedgefield market. So we were then operating 2 farmers markets at once. So then it immediately upped our production by 2 times over a Friday preparation and a Saturday morning. It was completely chaos. But yeah, it was quite exciting at the same time. And then after that, we took the big leap of opening our first commercial premises in November 2024. And we thought, we don't know how we're going to make this work, but we're just going to have faith. And I said to Kirsten, if it doesn't really work out, we just have to sell X amount of cookies a day in order to pay the rent.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, let's just do it. It shouldn't be that bad. And it was a big surprise. On the first opening day at our commercial premises, we sold out at 1:30. So we still had about 4 hours left of the day until we were done. So we were completely shocked, and we were like, okay, let's bake more for the following day. We'll probably stretch it until 3:00. We sold out exactly the same time, even with the more stock. We just couldn't keep it at bay, basically. We just had to keep on pumping it out, and we didn't have equipment at that stage to actually accommodate it. So it was quite a mission. It used to be like 10 hours straight of baking, just in the oven, in and
Yeah.
out, in and out. And then this was peak season December. So this also led to us, it felt like a complete burnout because we were operating 2 farmers markets in peak season December, which is about 5 times the amount you sell is the general amount, and plus a commercial premises on top of that. So it was chaotic. This is when we got more industrial equipment. And then over the years, we just started investing more into our equipment and also our efficiency of how we do things. And then recently, May 2026, we opened our second location in Mossel Bay. And we have now not been at any farmers markets. We're just running our 2 commercial premises.
Unbelievable. So tell me, why Cookie Cabin? Where did this originate from?
Okay, so throughout our, if I can put it, our dating period, we always loved baking for each other and cooking for each other, but more the baking than the cooking. So for various occasions, whether it be a birthday, whether it be maybe just a dating anniversary. We'd always maybe surprise each other with something, whether it be cupcakes, cinnamon buns, and that's how the baking basically started. And then we then fell on cookies, which was, since we started baking cookies for each other, it was an instant hit and an instant addiction for us. We always try to find different ways to make them better, maybe make the cookie dough better, maybe make more fillings, better fillings. So I would say it started mainly because throughout our dating life, we both loved baking when we were younger. And then it bled into our dating and then our marriage as well. And Kirsten actually baked for me. I think it was our fourth date we ever went on. She baked me fresh lemon cookies, and I was
Okay.
like, "Well, it's meant to be, basically." So yeah,
The
that's
stars
basically-
aligned and
Stars aligned,
well, the
everything.
cookies aligned.
should I say?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell how it began. It was basically just something fun that we started doing for each other, and then it naturally just led into what we now call Cookie Cabin.
Okay. So obviously, with this whole story, you then saw the potential of
Yes.
selling cookies and turning it into a business. So
Yes, that is
tell
correct.
me a bit about that.
We actually spoke about this the other day, so you can actually
Well,
answer.
we actually, when we went to a local farmers market, we saw that there's a lot of the same type of baked goods and products, maybe a lot of breads, maybe a lot of maybe cupcakes or something, but we
Yeah.
never saw gourmet cookies. And at that moment, we were just so addicted to our cookies that we were baking for each other. Then we decided, you know what? How about we maybe sell cookies? And the market had a very rustic look and like a wooden look. So we thought, well, it would be very cozy to call it Cookie Cabin. So that's actually how we got the name as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, so
Very
that, like,
interesting.
very catchy name, very nice, warm and cozy, like cookies, obviously. So
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
basically how it came together.
Okay. Now, if I'm a cookie lover, which I am, right?
Yes.
And I have now got a passion for supporting somebody, and
Yes.
now I need to come and give your cookies a try for the
Yes.
first time. What sets you apart from everybody else?
I would say, based on what other people have said and the feedback and the reviews that we have gotten, they say it's the freshest cookies they've ever tasted. It's baked fresh every single day, which naturally already sets it apart. You pretty much used to, if you think of a cookie or a biscuit, it's on the shelf for months and it's sitting there. You maybe have to dunk it in your coffee to make it a bit, if I can say, take it to the next level. This is already taken to the next level immediately when you open the packet. It's baked fresh every morning. Our fillings are homemade as well,
Okay.
depending on what the flavor is. So whether it's a cheesecake cookie, a caramel cookie, we make that all ourselves. So everything is high quality ingredients made from scratch, made on the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I can see there's a lot of passion here, right?
Yes.
But where did this passion originate from? Where did it all begin?
Well, when we made a chocolate chip cookie,
Yes.
we wanted to adjust the recipe more to just to our liking. So then it became basically our own recipe. And then we also made a caramel for it. And then we also adjusted the caramel to our liking. Then it basically became our own caramel recipe.
Exactly.
And then we used to just bake for the weekends to have that weekend treat. But then it was just so addictive that we just wanted to make it in the week as well. And then we actually let family and friends try it as well. Let's just say we made it for their birthdays or for occasions, and everyone's eyes just went like super big when they actually had it, and they all try to get the recipe. They all said, "Can we bake it for them?" And then we realized, you know what? How about we try sell this at the market?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So our passion is basically from us when we were younger. We both had a passion for baking and cooking, and we actually realized that when we were dating, and it naturally allowed us to then experiment together and then create something that we now call Cookie Cabin and our delicious cookies.
Okay. So, 2 bodies, 1 kitchen. How does the roles work? Who does what? Like, how do you guys plan
Okay.
who does what?
So it has changed over the years. When we were at the farmer's market, it would naturally be Kirsten mans the ship in terms of the dough making, all
Okay.
the cookie dough. I would do all the fillings,
Okay.
and then we'd come together in terms of putting them together like a marriage, if I can put it that way. And then you make a perfect little baby out of it. So we also portion all the dough balls together, so that takes quite a long amount of time. And then when it was still the farmer's market days, we used to bake together. But now, since we actually have a baby girl together, we've now switched the roles a
Congrats.
little bit. So it's mainly I do the baking in the morning. She'll help maybe with the dishes, which is a major part. Don't
Yeah.
overlook that part. And then, it's basically that, but just in different ratios. Maybe I do maybe 70% one day. Kirsten does a little bit more. So it's just switching it according to our
Okay.
how we feel that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the schedule.
The schedule, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we often, like now at the moment, he'll make the dough and then we'll both just prepare it, like maybe roll it all out, stuff all of them.
Yes.
So with that specifically, that at least I can still contribute towards that, because obviously with having a baby that's a few months old, it hasn't been as easy, but I'm still able to
Yeah.
work with Timothy.
That's that multitasking, eh? Another level.
Crazy stuff.
So, what are some of the favorites that people are like saying, "Oh, you got to come in for this"? Like, what is your all-time favorite, and then
All-time.
what's your favorite?
Okay, so this can sit in two categories. It's either our current favorites and our all-time favorites. So currently, we've got our PS caramel chocolate cookie on the menu, which is like a Cadbury caramel chocolate, like a PS bar, but in a cookie form. Super good. It's got Rice Krispies in. And we've also got our caramel churro cookie, which tastes like a cinnamon sugar donut filled with caramel. Super delicious. Those are currently our two favorites.
Okay.
I would say all-time favorites for customers. We used to have a honeycomb cookie with white chocolate, which is a take on a crunchy chocolate bar in a cookie form. The only problem is making the honeycomb itself is such a mission. You would burn it half the time because you need to get it exactly right.
Wow.
So it's an all-time favorite, but it's so difficult to make. We've decided to just put it on hold until we can get it perfect. So I would say honeycomb chocolate chunk was definitely a big hit for an all-time favorite. And then I would say red velvet cheesecake. And yeah, my all-time favorite would be peanut butter fudge. It would be the coconut jam, which is a classic, almost herzogi kind of cookie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a take on a herzogi. And then also our vanilla birthday cake cookie. Those are my three top favorites. And Kirsten would sort of agree with that.
My top three is definitely the vanilla birthday cake cookie, and then red velvet cheesecake, and then the peanut butter fudge. And actually, I'm not a peanut butter fan, but the cookie doesn't have like this blob of peanut butter in. It's nicely mixed into the dough, so it's not like this potent flavor. It's just this very nice flavor. It works well with the fudge. And then the red velvet cheesecake, what is so nice is it's got a light chocolatey flavor. So it's not just like coloring that makes it red. It's nice, deep chocolatey flavor. And then it just pairs so well with the vanilla cheesecake center. It just tastes so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So, if you have now a selection of cookies, so how many is on the menu at the moment?
We generally have 5 at a time on the menu.
Okay.
We could put more on the menu, but it does create complications with the preparation side of
Yes,
things.
yes.
It definitely does, because preparing 10 different flavors at once you can't be consistent with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you guys had to now like take a flavor away and add a new flavor, is
Yes.
that something that you do like every 3 to 6 months, or is it dependent on like?
Well, it depends. Sometimes we want to take a flavor off, but then we see everyone saying, no, don't take it off. And then we just keep it on, because obviously you want to make your customers happy, which is so important.
Yeah.
So then it depends. Sometimes every few weeks, every 2 weeks, every month, it depends. Then we sometimes bring in a new limited edition flavor. But we
Okay.
got 3
Yeah.
cookies on the menu that always stays there. Our 3 classic flavors, and other 2 we rotate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 limited editions and 3 classics. And we usually say we'll change the menu for the limited edition specifically every week or second week.
Okay.
But based on sales for those cookies, we can actually see if people are loving it or not, and
Yeah.
popularity. So we wouldn't just change it for the sake of changing it just to have a new flavor, but people don't like it. So we'd rather keep something popular for a little longer until we see maybe the sales dropping. People maybe want something a little bit more exciting.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And have you ever had a flavor where it was just like, no, this was a horrible idea?
One that we tested that we thought was going to be a really good flavor that
Yeah.
didn't turn out too great was a creme brulee cookie. So it sounds really great, but the problem was when we put the custard in, we put it in the center and we rolled it and we baked it. Then the custard would just like run out of the whole cookie.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
doesn't work.
it didn't
Okay.
really work well, and it didn't taste that great. So that's something we can definitely
Yeah.
improve and sometimes bring about. But yeah, so that's one of them that we tested that didn't turn out too great.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically a balance of textures and flavors. It might sound good in your mind, but if you put it into a cookie form, maybe, for instance, a malva pudding cookie. Sounds super delicious, but malva pudding is very soft and
Mm.
delicate, so you can't have like maybe a crunchy cookie. And it's quite difficult to balance it. And also the fact that we package it into a sleeve,
Yeah.
you can't maybe have a blob of cream on top or ice cream like maybe a traditional malva pudding. It's very difficult to balance it,
Yeah.
especially with packaging it in a certain way as well.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people doing like dishes the deconstructive way of doing it. Have you guys
Exactly.
ever attempted a deconstructive cookie?
Sort of, but we want people to recognize that it's a cookie. I think if people don't really see, I think if our returning customers know, okay, this is Cookie Cabin, we know what they offer. But if a new time customer comes, they're like, what on earth is this thing? It looks so strange and weird. And yeah, so I would
Okay,
say
so thankfully, when they come to you, there'll
Yes.
always be a cookie
It's always
shape
something.
and form.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
great.
We have once before had our most original cookie, salted caramel chocolate chunk. It was square at a stage, and the reason for that is we actually used to bake them so big for one another that we just loved it so much. We made the balls so big when you baked it that it would actually fill the whole tray.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we decided, okay, let's just make a sheet tray cookie, and we cut it into slices.
Okay.
So it was more like a cookie slice. So I would say that was a cookie that looked super, super strange. But as soon as people did try it, they were like, okay, this is definitely the best one. So it's super,
fantastic.
super
Yeah, we
good.
just told everyone it just tastes better square. But
Yeah,
later on we made it circular. But it was
Yeah.
quite difficult with cutting it
Okay.
constantly.
Yeah.
So we just decided to make it circular.
Yeah,
Okay.
and more recognizable.
Okay, fantastic. So I've seen some of the videos. So for those
Yes.
who's now tuning in for the first time,
Yes.
take us through a day, because I think what you guys do is phenomenal, right? The preparation is just next level.
Yes.
So take
Okay.
us through.
So we don't have like a cookie dough supplier, or we don't have anything. Everything is made from scratch. Everything, including most of our fillings. Obviously, if it's chocolate, we can't put up a cocoa tree and make our own chocolate.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's, I'd say, the only fillings that aren't homemade. So basically what a day looks like, we get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, depending on if it's a weekend or a weekday. Let's just say 5 o'clock on average. And then that's where the baking period starts. It's about 3.5 to 4 hours of baking and packaging. It sounds so quick in one's mind. Just pop a few cookies in the oven, let them cool down, pop them into a packet, and it's done. But actually, for the amount of cookies that we do, it takes around 4 hours to do that.
Sure.
And it's straight work. It isn't like you can take a break in between, sip a cup of coffee. Sometimes we even skip breakfast. So it's just constant go, 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 cookies in, cookies out. And because you can't really predict what happens in the oven, sometimes the cookies shape weird, some things happen basically. So it's quite stressful when you're baking. Okay, so then that's 5 to 9. Then 9 to 10, that's when maybe we can just take a little bit of a break. That's how we met at gym. I was taking a bit of a breather. And then so Kirsten's helped me all the way until then, and then she can also take a little bit of a break. And then I would say from 11 to maybe 1 o'clock, it's dishes. So much dishes when it comes to baking. That's probably 40% of a bakery is washing dishes
Yeah.
constantly. So people that want to open a bakery or do something like this, just know that you will be doing a lot of dishes. Then I would say after that, we make our cookie doughs for around 2 hours. We have recently gotten an industrial mixer, which has helped us quite a lot. But it's making of the cookie doughs from scratch. And we don't just make one base cookie dough for all of the cookies. It depends on the flavor. We've got ones that are sweeter, ones that are less sweet, more sweet. Maybe it's a chocolate cookie dough, brownie cookie dough. So this takes quite a long time to get to weigh everything out specifically. Then we chill the dough in the fridge, take another short break, maybe have some lunch if we have time for that. And then we roll and portion each cookie dough out individually. So we don't have a machine or a cookie scoop that does it. We actually roll each one to the exact amount of grams.
Sure.
And also we don't dump all the fillings into the mixer. We actually do everything ourselves, such as
Yeah.
cutting all the chocolate, putting all the caramel, breaking it ourselves, putting it exactly the same amount, because you don't want, for instance, what happened, we tried it, and then a cookie would have maybe one piece of chocolate, the other one would have 10 pieces of chocolate. Maybe someone gets all the white chocolate, someone gets all the milk
Yeah.
chocolate. And now it's inconsistent. You get disappointed that you don't have the same experience.
Yeah.
So we decided, let's just put the extra work in and actually do everything individually every single time. So I would say from 5 o'clock all the way until evening time, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Sometimes it even goes on a weekend until 1 o'clock in the morning, all the prepping
Sure.
and stuff like that. So it can literally be a 19-hour day for us sometimes. So generally a day in our life is, let's just say it ends at around 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and then we can maybe unwind and then restart. It is a lot of work, yes, but it is worth it and it is exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. It's a mouthful, eh?
It's quite a lot.
So what are some of the things that when a customer walks in that they
Yes.
don't necessarily see or know of, that's like
Yeah.
transpired behind the scenes? Like what is there that you can share with us?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely all the labor that goes into it. It's very
Yes.
physically demanding, all the work. So, like, even ourselves, before we started, we maybe, like, you think being a bakery owner must be so fun. You just bake some things, you can maybe taste some things. It must be so fun. But, like we say, it's a lot of dishes, a lot of physical labor.
Yeah, you're on
It's
your
long,
feet. You're on your feet all day.
long hours. And actually, like, we always said our big dream is to actually own a bakery one day. And then at the same time, we said, well, you maybe have to wake up super early, so maybe not. But then we actually ended up becoming bakery owners. So that is some of the things.
Definitely the labor that people
Yeah.
overlook. It's whenever you see a very popular bakery, you'll always see tons of staff in the
Yeah.
kitchen. So it's a labor intensive kind of industry.
And sometimes we sell out early, then people say, well, just bake more. But the thing is, we bake.
Just bake more.
Yeah, well, we also bake fresh every day. So
Yeah.
we make sure that we have enough stock just to make each day.
Yes.
So that's also one thing. And also, it does take a lot more extra labor making everything. So when we had
Yeah.
one shop, sometimes we could bake more stock. When the people at shop told us, oh, we're running a bit low, there's so many left, and we start baking more and have it there just in time. But now with 2 locations, it's not really possible. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that where you said that just quickly bake. Like even with me, somebody would be like, "Can you just quickly do this?"
Quickly
and I'm
do
like,
it.
"Quickly, like
You don't have
2-3
a process.
hours." It's not quick, but that also just adds to how much people don't know that goes
Yeah.
on behind the
Yes.
scenes.
Exactly.
So what's been the most rewarding part of this journey for you guys?
I would say just the confidence that a person's gained from owning a business and doing something that you thought was maybe it's for someone else. Only a genius can do something like this. It's not for me. Maybe I should just go work for someone one day. I think the confidence that person gains, especially as a business owner and as an individual, that you can actually do this and maybe do something bigger in the future if you wanted to. I would say the confidence that it gives a person is something that you can't buy with money. It's something that is just earned through hard work and dedication. So definitely that both of us we've slowly I would say a person has imposter syndrome sometimes. You think, no, it's not for me, it's not for me. And then once we did achieve and slowly started achieving our goals as bakery owners, we thought, no, like anyone can do this if they put their heart and mind to it. So it's nice to show other people what is attainable.
100%.
Yeah.
So is there a story with a customer that sort of sits with you guys from, since you've opened up
Yeah.
until now, and it's just one of those, you have to tell a story?
There's been a few at the farmers market where we would actually, when we started the farmers market, we would actually record some of the reactions, and there would be some when they taste it, they just have these eyes like, what? And they've said they've never tasted something in their life, and then like this in their life, and then they would taste a piece, they would say, oh, it tastes really nice, I'll take one. They'd maybe come back and take, no, I have to buy more. That maybe sweep half of our stock away. So we had quite a few of those. And also at our shops, we've had a lot of those with people like, oh, like, yeah, it's quite pricey, but yeah, I'll just take one. And they come back like 5 minutes later. Oh my word, I'm going back to Plet right now. I need some for my family. It's always been things like that. But I wouldn't say there was one particular customer that had this outrageous reaction.
Okay.
They all have very similar reactions when they taste it. It's very skeptical, and then they're immediate fan after tasting it.
But that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, where do you guys see, because you've got the shop in George and the shop in Mossel Bay.
That is correct.
So what is the next? Where are you guys going to take Cookie Cabin next? What's the dream?
Okay, so it's a balancing act of not going too big that your quality and standards go down, but also not staying so small that it's only a little local thing. We want every single person to taste Cookie Cabin and it to be a household name. So I would say definitely having more locations across South Africa, potentially franchising, but to the point where it doesn't get out of hand, where your quality and standards go down. So we sort of want to be in control of it, but we know that you need to grow a team in order to grow a business. So it's a balancing act of not getting too big, but also not staying too small. So we're trying to find out ways how we can grow it, but keep the quality and standards super high, because we know exactly how the things need to be baked, all the cookies, we know all the operations, we know how everything is supposed to be done. So if there is a little error that you find along the way, we can say no. Like sometimes we spot a cookie after we've baked it. No, that one we can't sell. It's a bit weird. Maybe might be a bit too overbaked or a bit too raw. Rather leave it out. Now this is if we maybe have one in Cape Town, someone isn't as attached to the business as us, and they maybe just start selling it like that. And then that's when things slowly start crumbling. And yeah,
No pun intended with the crumbling.
no,
eh?
it's not. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And if you had to describe Cookie Cabin in 3 words, what would that be?
Quality, addictive, and exciting.
Fantastic. And yours?
Well, I was definitely thinking about addictive, and like we say, quality definitely. That's like one of our most important things: quality, addictive, and addictive again.
Okay. Fantastic. So
Yeah.
addictive, yeah.
Definitely.
One thing I want to know is how many cookies are too many cookies?
Well,
You.
you have to try it out yourself and see.
Guys, it was a blast having you.
Thank
I
you.
just want to know if anyone wants to reach out, find you
Yes.
guys, where are you on socials? Give
Yeah.
your handles and then also just contact details. How can people get hold of you?
We are all over social media, every single platform: Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can search us up on Instagram, Cookie Cabin Official, and also our email address, cookiecabinofficial@gmail.com, and our WhatsApp catalog, which a lot of our people order through. It's 084 952 8580, and then our handles on all of our other social medias are exactly the same.
And
Cookie
also
Cabin
our
Official.
website.
Yes, can't forget the website, www.cookiecabin.co.za.
Fantastic. Any last thoughts about what you guys want to do or how you're going to do it?
Well, we've got big dreams for Cookie Cabin. You'll probably see this name pop up sometime in your life and see it maybe as a big brand and a big name. So if you see this video, just know where it started and the story behind Cookie Cabin.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. And if you want to know more, get in touch. As I mentioned, all of their handles, all of their contact information will be on the screen. And who knows, you might just find yourself in a Cookie Cabin. Guys, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Fantastic.
Come on in, there's a treat to discover. Cookie Cabin baked with delight. Gourmet goodness in every bite. Warm and delicious, your happy place. Cookie Cabin brings a smile to your face. Cookie Cabin, taste the joy.